Hey everybody, I'm Jeff Davis, and right now I am here in Essex, Maryland with my good friend Harvey Bailey.
Hey everybody.
He is an ordained reverend, a certified coach, he is an author, a professional speaker, a relationship expert. This man does it all. Harvey, thank you so much for being with me here today.
Jeff, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate being here.
It's a pleasure, it's a pleasure. So, I wanted you to share with our viewers here today the 7 pillars of self-love. I know when you traveled all the way up from Maryland to Connecticut for my book launch back on November 1st. We were chatting after the event was over. Great event, by the way.
It was.
And Harvey was telling me, you were telling me that you thought of, through your creative visualization, your brainstorming, and your natural intuitive genius, the 7 pillars of self-love. Can you please share those amazing insight and wisdom with our viewers?
Absolutely. I feel the 7 pillars of self-love was given to me from the Almighty. It was divine within me. The 7 pillars of self-love is what I call the special forces of loving yourself. There's a lot of techniques to loving yourself, but none that I've seen or heard of requires more discipline, which is why I call it the special forces of self-love. So the first pillar is basic life expressions. Basic life expressions break down into several parts. First, you have health. Your health is physical health, mental health, emotional health, and spiritual health. And what I do is I help you create, I don't give you, but I help you create your own exercises to improve physical health, spiritual health, mental health, and emotional health. Then you have relationship. We talk about how to have a healthy relationship. It's really more about you, how you've been showing up in relationships. So we look at what you've seen in your past. What patterns have you created? What have your relationships been like? It's all focused on you and helping you learn relationship skills. There's money. We talk about money. Are you living the right way with money? A lot of people, their money comes and goes and they don't know where it is. Do you have control over your money? How much money are you willing to make? That's right, I said willing to make. We tend to allow other people to dictate to us how much money we're making, instead of consciously saying, I'm going to make $200,000 a year, and then setting out to make $200,000 a year. And those who have done it, well, I fell short on my goal, so I give up. No, you set that goal again. Don't beat yourself up. You find the way to get it. It's an ongoing thing. Once you reach that goal, then you go to the next one. But also how to keep your money. So I help you with the basics of how to manage your money. Then, beyond that, it's career. What is your ultimate goal? What is your purpose here in life? Do you know what you want to do with your life? I help you figure out what your purpose is here. That is all part of the first basic life expressions. The second one is sexual self-expression. Sexual self-expression is something that a lot of people shy away from, don't want to talk about, or maybe never even heard or understood. Every human being is a sexual human being. But do we understand how we are sexually? Do we match up with other people that we deal with on a sexual basis? Oftentimes, you'll find someone who may enjoy sex far more than someone else come together and they have a problem in that area. So if you know what your sexual quotient is, what's your sex cycle? How long does it take from the last time you had sex to the next time you want to have sex? How often do you want to have sex? What do you like? What do you not like? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to try? How experimental are you? You have to understand who you are as a sexual being and match that up with the person that you're getting involved with. You want to make sure that if you're a wild freak who swings from the chandelier on a regular and you're willing to go past that, if you can get the right partner, that you don't get with someone who thinks that is just absolutely disgusting. I will not partake in that kind of behavior, because you're going to have a problem. You need to get with someone who's just as wild as you are, if not wilder. And so the next pillar that we have, that was the second one. The third pillar is expressions of wow, I forgot. Give me 1 second. It is expressions of self-esteem. Expressions of self-esteem. Here, I help you create exercises that increase your self-esteem. How do you feel about yourself? Do you believe that you are the most important person in the world? I once did a speech where I opened up with that. Who's the most important person in the world? Well, to you, it should be you. No one should be more important than you in your world. That's self-esteem. What accomplishments have you done? Everyone's accomplished something. How do you feel about yourself? You should believe in yourself. Why? Because you can't accomplish anything great, and everyone can accomplish great things if you put your mind to it and you believe in yourself. But you can't do that if you don't have high self-esteem. So the fourth principle is expressions of self-love. Do you love yourself? Now, almost everyone says, yes, I love myself. But you know what? The same people who say, yes, I love myself, will put alcohol in their body, knowing that alcohol kills. Will put drugs in their body, knowing that drugs kill. Maybe they don't want to exercise and say, well, I don't have to exercise to love myself. No, you don't. But this is the special forces of self-love. So yes, if you want to be top of your game, think about this. No one who's great at what they do got there by resting on their laurels. They pushed and pushed and pushed themselves. And when it felt like they couldn't go anymore, then they pushed themselves just a little bit harder. So if you want the 7 pillars of self-love, you really want to love yourself, you've got to dig deep. You can't say, I love myself, but then do things that show that you don't love yourself. Unless you believe killing yourself is loving yourself. If you believe not being the best you is loving yourself. That's not. Loving yourself is every day holding you and letting you know, I love you so much, Harvey. You are the greatest person in the world. It's saying affirmations. It's showing you that you love yourself. It's spending time alone. How about that? How can you know yourself if you're constantly surrounded by other people? If you don't take time to go within. If you don't go within, you're going to go without. You got to spend time inside, finding out who you are, loving yourself from the inside out. Your love should so encompass you that when you come around other people, they can feel your energy. That's when you know you're loving yourself. You know, when you're squeezed, the only thing that can come out of you is love, because there's nothing else in you but love. So we move to the 5th pillar. The 5th pillar is expressions of creative self-expression. What is your God-given talents? How many of you know what your God-given talents are? You have more than one. Figure out what it is you are gifted with in this world. And don't bury your talents. Use them. Because in using them, you'll develop other talents. You'll find new talents. So I help you find out what your God-given talent is. And then I can coach you through how to use that so that you can get new talents. Bring new things into your life. There's something that we are all here for. There's an expression that this world is waiting for each and every one of us to show. And if you're not showing it, you're doing a disservice not just to yourself, but to others. Because somebody out there needs to see you doing what it is you are good at. Whether it's dancing, singing, painting, playing sports, it does not matter. Some people's talent is just being able to love people, no matter what. Some people's talent, it may be cooking. Some people's talent may be just the fact that they are able to calm people down. Find your talent and start using it. The 6th expression of self-love is vision. What is your vision for your life? Expression of life vision. Where do you see your life a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years, 20, 25 years from now? Have you considered it? Have you thought about it? Do you have a plan? Are you working on something? I help you bring all that together. I help you create a life vision based off of a technique called visioning. If you're familiar with Michael Beckwith, Reverend Michael Beckwith, then you may be familiar with visioning. I help you through visioning find out what your vision for your life is. Finding out what God's purpose in your life is. And the 7th expression of self-love is expression of oneness with God and self. If you do not have a spiritual practice, and I'm not talking religion, I'm talking a spiritual practice. That could be praying, that could be reading positive authors, You know, it could be meditation, it could be yoga, it could be a lot of different things. But if you don't have a spiritual practice, and I'll even go so far as to say this, a spiritual practice could be if you regularly play basketball. Because when you play basketball, you're in the zone. You feel like no one can beat you. When you're on that court, there's nobody else there but you, and you are just in the zone. Getting in that zone is getting in that focused oneness. That is a spiritual practice, because that's really all a spiritual practice is about. Getting in that oneness, being in that zone where nothing else matters and it's just you and God in the house. That's a spiritual practice. Also, developing your relationship with yourself. Most people don't have a relationship with themselves. They don't even really understand or know who they are. It is highly important that you know who you are. How can you give away something if you don't have it? You can't give yourself away if you don't know who you are. Every relationship you go into, you're going to show up one way and then another way, and it's going to be a disaster, and you don't know what the problem is. The problem is you. The problem is you haven't figured out who you are and what you are here for. That's what the 7 Pillars of Self-Love is about. It helps you to be the best possible you. And it shows you how to love yourself on 7 different levels.
I was not only taking notes, but I was using an additional camera to film this, to capture it, to soak in the knowledge and wisdom. And it's amazing. I could go on and on about how powerful these tips are, but notice how he talked about establishing a practice to love yourself, to get to know yourself. He talked about ways in which we have to not just think about it, but actually show ourselves that we love ourselves. And he gave all these amazing strategies. I'm jotting down notes. My tip of the day, to throw in here one right at the end, is to be a student of experts and masters such as Reverend Harvey L. Be a student, and then, yes, also be a practitioner, but be a student first and then teach others. And remember, both can be true. You can be a student and a teacher at the same time. It's not either or. I learn from Harvey, but I'm also a speaker and a teacher and an author. So it's both are true. You learn from others and you teach. So in terms of the self-love we learned about today, yes, apply it in your life, let these tips work, and then go on and spread the love. Harvey's all about sharing with others. We're putting this on YouTube because we're not keeping the secret. We want you to apply this in your life.
Because the world needs more love.
Yeah.
And that means you've got to give more love.
Yes. Couldn't have said it better myself. As always, a pleasure. Please like this video and leave in the comments below 1 or 2 tips that you particularly liked from this video. Also share, how is self-love going for you in your life? What are your struggles or challenges? What are your wins and your successes? Please share this video with friends, family members, colleagues, students, co-workers, everyone you can. We can get the word out about the power of self-love. Our world will become a much kinder and forgiving place. There will be less violence, there will be more understanding, there will be more communication and less misunderstandings.
Absolutely.
Please, as always, subscribe to this video and share this around. And we will see you at the mountaintop.